Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're doing well. It's been a while since I have done a contest video giveaway. In fact, I think it's been a year ago, roughly, when my channel reached 1,000 subscribers. I did a big contest giveaway video. Now my channel has reached 1,500 subscribers about a year later, so I thought it would be a good time to do another contest video. So here are the rules for the contest. One, you have to be a subscriber to my channel. Now, most of you, I know that you are subscribers to my channel, but in order to enter, if I have any doubt whether you are a subscriber, you need to make sure that you have your subscriber list public, so I can make sure that you are a subscriber to be entered into the contest. The second is I am looking for video responses only. So if you don't make content, while I do appreciate you subscribing to my channel, I do want this to be a video response entry, and you'll see why. Before I get to the next one, I do want to thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel, all 1,500 plus of you. I really appreciate it. I love doing these videos on baseball cards, my Wade Boggs collection, my vintage baseball cards, doing all the top 10 most valuable cards videos and all that stuff. I really enjoy making content, but it's really nice to know that there are so many of you out there who enjoy my content and who have chosen to subscribe to my channel. So again, thank you so much. All right, so what does this video response need to be? This may be easy for some, may be harder for others, but I want you to pick one card in your collection. And I want it to be your favorite card in your collection. And explain why in the video, why it is your favorite card. In other words, if you had to get rid of all the cards in your collection, which would be the last one that you would part with? Now, your favorite card may be because it's the most valuable card in your collection. Maybe it's the oldest card in your collection. Maybe there's some sentimental tie to that card that makes it special over all the other cards in your collection. I'm sure all of you have that one card that, for a variety of reasons, is your favorite card, the one that you always go to, have a story about, or put, in a special place on display for your collection. So one card that is your favorite card in your collection, and explain why it is your favorite card. Next, you need to put hashtag WBF for Wade Boggs fan, hashtag WBF 1500 in the description of your video. That way I can do a search for that hashtag and make sure that I don't miss any of your video responses. Now, leading up to the end of the deadline, I'll do maybe a quick recap video and list all the ones that I've seen to enter that have qualified, and there'll be an opportunity to reach out to me in the comments to say, hey, you missed my video, but I don't want to miss any entries. So the easiest way, because you may title it differently, you may hashtag me or at me in the description and I'll see it, but there's always a case that I may miss it. So I will be searching for the hashtag WBF 1500. So make sure that is in the description of your video. Last is the deadline. This will be posting on Friday, October 6th. So I'll give you 3 weeks to enter the contest. I figure that's enough time for people to hear about the contest, see other people's responses, and do your own response if you want to be entered. And the deadline is going to be midnight Eastern Standard Time on October 27th. So 3 weeks, right? Now, what am I going to be giving away? It's always hard for me to say, hey, I have some cards here that I'm going to give away, because you never know what the winners collection, what they're interested in collecting. So I'm not going to have any specific cards to give away. So I'm just going to go the old route of giving away some eBay gift cards. And this is a good time to say that this contest response video appreciation sort of contest is not associated with eBay, YouTube whatsoever. This is just me wanting to thank my subscribers by giving you something. And so I'll be doing 2 prizes. The second place prize, I'll be spinning a randomizer wheel. Second place prize is going to get a $25 eBay gift card, and the first place winner is going to get a $50 eBay gift card. Now, you don't have to necessarily spend it on sports cards, but if you do, would love for the winners to do a video showing off what you purchased with the eBay gift cards. Again, it's not a requirement, but would be nice to see what you purchased with the winnings there. So with all that said, all the instructions and stuff, I'm going to turn the camera around and show you my favorite card in my collection. Now, for some of you who have been following me for the past 3+ years, you probably know what this card is going to be. But for some of my newer subscribers, you may not have seen some previous videos where I talk about this particular card. But a little hint, it is not a Wade Boggs card. So let me turn the camera around and show and tell why this one card is my favorite card in my collection. All right, here is another summary of the instructions for the contest. I'll also list them in the description of this video so you can make sure that you follow everything there. All right, as I mentioned, the most favorite card in my collection is not a Wade Boggs card. It's not my most valuable card. In fact, it's not the card that's in the best condition in my collection. But it is one of the earliest cards that I had when I first started collecting cards in the late 70s. And it is the 1979 Topps Bump Wheels. Now, again, for those of you who do not know this story, you may be wondering why this 1979 Topps Bump Wheels card is my favorite card. Well, here's the backstory. I first started collecting cards in 1978. And around this time, I was born in 72, so I was 6 years old. In 1979, of course, I was 7. And I was playing Little League. And at one of the practices, my mom was there in the stands along with all the other moms of the kids that were on the team practicing. And one of them, just part of normal discussion, I guess, one of the moms asked my mom whether I collected any baseball cards. And she said, yeah, he has a few. He's been, buying some packs for the last couple years or so. And this was actually in 1981, so I was a little bit older. This card came out in 79, but the discussion took place in 1981 when Donruss and Flair hit the market and started competing against Topps. But one of the moms said, hey, does John collect baseball cards? And she said, yeah, he's been collecting some for a while. And they said, did you know that in the 81 Flair set, there are some error cards? Flair made some mistakes when they did the first run of cards. There was some misnumberings. There was some other errors. And they said some of those errors are, worth back then a decent amount of money. And so my mom wrote down some of these cards so I could look through my 81 Flair cards. They also told her about this 1979 Topps Bump Wheels card. Now, looking at this card, you may not notice anything wrong with it. Bump Wheels there on the Texas Rangers. Bump Wills on the Rangers. There's really nothing to note about this card. That's because this is the corrected version of the card. The error, which was first made and produced, is in much greater quantity. They only discovered this error and changed it in later print runs of the set. So the corrected version, which is this one, is much harder to find. The error has, instead of Rangers, Blue Jays. So on the front of the card, they had him playing for the Toronto Blue Jays with the Rangers team on the back. And that was the error, and that is the most common form of this card that you'll find in 79 Topps. Now, that error version at the time, back in probably 1981, was worth $3. Now, at the time, my allowance was 50 cents a week. So even the error card being worth $3 would have been, wow, something special for a 9-year-old. Well, this corrected version, which is much harder to find at the time, was worth $7. And imagine my reaction when I looked through my 79 Topps cards and I found the corrected version. I didn't have the error version, but I had the corrected version. And now, again, it's not perfectly centered. And even at the time when I originally pulled it, maybe the corners were sharp, but since then, obviously being in a shoebox and all that stuff, not knowing how to protect cards back then, that wasn't a thing, at least for me. It's off centered. Like, there's corner issues. So, and I think there's even, if you look down there, there's a print mark right there in the left corner there. So definitely not in the best shape. So would it have been worth $7 back then? Maybe not. But generally speaking, to say that I had a card worth around $7 in my collection was just out of this world. And that sort of jump-started my collecting of baseball cards. Now, it wasn't because of the money, but it increased. I'd been buying cards, but I had them in a shoebox. They were nice. I looked through them, and I continued to buy packs, but this ignited my passion in the hobby as a 9-year-old. So this is the card that started it all for me, and that's why this Bump Wills is my favorite card, that just because of the sentimental value of knowing that I had this corrected version, but much harder to find version in my collection, just was something awesome as a 9-year-old. Now, moving forward to my early 50s and getting into graded cards, of course, I had to buy a graded copy of this card and the error card. So I now have a PSA 9 copy, a really nice copy of the corrected version, showing him on the front there with the Rangers. And of course, I had to buy the error version. So there is the Blue Jays. So this is the error, the more common version of the card that you'll find in packs and out there. They made much more of these than the corrected version in the Rangers. So, again, would love to see a video response entry. For every video response, you get one entry into the contest. Again, tell me the story. Yeah, I'd like to see the card, but more importantly, I want to know why it is your favorite card. And again, even if it's because it's the most expensive card in your collection, when did you buy the card? Why did you decide to buy that particular card, even if it is your most valuable card in your collection? I'm sure most of you are going to describe a card that has some sentimental value. So that's why I decided to do this particular video response. I'm not sure if this was done before by anyone else, possibly, but if so, it may have been a little while. So it would always be nice to see stories out there about your cards. I love to see and watch stories about baseball cards. So with that, again, thank you all so much for the support of your channel. 1,500 subscribers is just amazing. With that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.